please.
Mr. Sanderson.
Here.
Mrs. Luna.
Here.
Mrs. Snyder.
Here.
Mr. Lewis.
Here.
Mrs. Geiger.
Here.
Mrs. Edwards.
Well, I'm gonna have out again.
Say here.
Here.
Mr. Benson.
Here.
Mr. Steingart. Mr. Steingart. Mr. Sorensen.
Here.
Oh.
Okay, we have a reading of the public notice.
Notice is hereby given that there's been duly presented and introduced at a meeting in the legislature of the county of Sullivan, New York, held on September 19, 2013, proposed local law entitled "A Local Law to Exceed the New York State Property Tax Cap for 2014." Notice is further given that the legislature of the county of Sullivan will conduct a public hearing on the aforesaid proposed local law at the legislative hearing room, County Government Center, Mount Sullivan, New York, on October 17, 2013, at 4 p.m., at which time all persons interested will be present.
Thank you. Do we have anybody signed up to speak? Is there anybody in the room who would like to speak? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jonathan, second. Kathy, all in favor? Thank you.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Sanderson.
Here.
Mrs. Luna.
Here.
Mrs.
We get
Geiger.
it.
Here.
Mr. Lewis. Mrs. Geiger. Here. Mrs. Edwards.
Here.
Mr. Benson.
Here.
Mr. Steingart.
Here.
Mr. Sorensen.
Here.
Okay, thank you. We have a presentation today to the Boys and Girls Clubs of the town of Wallkill. I was right? It's feeding that, wasn't it? The Boys and Girls Club is celebrating 20 years this year. They are having a celebration next Saturday. And I thought it was probably a good idea for us to recognize them for all the incredible work they do here in this county, in Orange County. They're opening up some new clubs nearby, and I'll let probably Alexis fill us all in on that. But when I found out about the 20th anniversary, I sent an email to Alexis, with regrets because I'm going to be out of town. But I also shared with her that when I was in 3rd grade, I was a member of the Boys Club in Waterbury, Connecticut. And it's amazing that you don't really think about it until later in life, what it really meant to you. It was just the club down the street. I would go down and I would be able to go in the swimming pool, and I would be able to play with other kids my age there and engage in competitions and win little trophies. And it was really quite extraordinary. So I think that the work, and I remember it so fondly now, today in my life. So it's so important what the clubs do for the youth in the community. So I thought it was really important for us to acknowledge the Boys and Girls Club on their 20th anniversary. So I'd like to present this plaque to Alexis Angleton.
I think it's Friday. Isn't it dinner Friday?
It is, Ira, yes.
Oh, it's Friday? I'm sorry. Well, excuse me, it's not just Alexis Angleton. Quite clearly. You're all members of the club?
Yes.
You have fun there?
Yes.
They do great things for you?
Yes.
You're going to remember it when you're as old as I am, and I hope you make it there, because I'm really old.
You're not old.
That's right too, Gene, you're much older. So anyway, on behalf of the legislature, we just want to congratulate you on all of the work you do, all of the success you have. And if you want to take a couple of minutes just to fill people in about the good things you're doing and also the new stuff that's going on, that would be great. But our pleasure.
Can we take a picture? Everybody look at me.
Over here too,
Oh,
Alexis.
this way. Barb.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. No, I need to turn this back.
Thank you very much for recognizing our 20 years. The
pleasure.
clubs were formed in Orange Plaza in an abandoned storefront 20 years ago. It's been a while since I've been here, I apologize.
You should know that.
I should know better. The clubs were founded in an abandoned storefront in Orange County, in Orange Plaza 20 years ago. some concerned parents and some Rotarians, you know, the people who continue to give their time, even though none of us have enough of it. And it's kind of fun for me because I remember 7 years ago when the conversation started in a room right back there, that Boys and Girls Clubs needed to come to Sullivan County and that our kids needed to have the experiences. And certainly being a Sullivan County kid and being, was I 4 weeks or 5 weeks of the job? It was not long. It was not long after the time. It was a great project for me to work on, working with the Youth Bureau, and certainly as a legislative priority, I think you folks have done a tremendous job understanding that it's a preventative program that provides these kids opportunities they would never have access to otherwise, safe places to go with adults who are, you know, safe and fingerprinted and background checked, and really want to give them everything that maybe they don't get at home, whether it's homework help or a hot meal. You know, this year we're going to serve 39,000 meals in Orange and Sullivan County, 125,000 healthy snacks. And we did that in Sullivan County because the legislature signed on and said, this is important to us. What started with a plan for 100 kids, 50 in Fallsburg and 50 in Monticello, will serve more than 500 every week by the end of the year. And that's because, as Scott alluded, we are opening a new club in the town of Rockland. We will have a site in the Livingston Manor School and in the Roscoe School, which will complement our programs in the Liberty Elementary and Liberty Middle School, Monticello Middle School, Monticello High School, and the Fallsburg Teen Center, which is a drop-in center, open full meals 3 nights a week. So 500 kids a week, and that's due largely to the support from the legislature and the rest of the business community, the civic community, and those who really understand that these kids aren't going home to Evergreen tonight. They're going to Boys and Girls Club. And they're not going home to empty houses with nothing to eat. They're going home with somebody who's going to help them with their homework and give them something to eat. So on behalf of our organization, our board secretary, Shannon Jenkowitz, is here, and our board member, Karen Fisher, is also here. On behalf of our board and on behalf of all of our kids, thank you for believing in what we do, and we're really excited for the next 20 years. So, thank you.
And we look forward to further expansion and growth and all the good work you do. So thank you, Alexis. Communications.
Copy of the letter received September 30th, 2013, which was sent to the town of Thompson by Ann Culligan regarding the Monticello Motor Club regarding GML 239-1. Copy of resolution numbers 159, 160, and 161 of 2013, adopted by the Delaware County Board of Supervisors, introducing home rule legislation authorizing imposition of a wireless surcharge in Delaware County, urging New York State to restore the historic 50-50 state/local cost sharing and the state's mandated safety net program, etc., and calling on the governor and New York State Legislature to continue to partner with counties to successfully perform juvenile justice programs while avoiding cost shifts to County Department of Social Services, respectively. Copy of resolution number 45 of 13, which was adopted by the Niagara County Legislature, requesting the state of New York to establish a residency requirement in order to receive welfare benefits. Certified report of available revenues for fiscal year 2014 filed by County Treasurer Ira J. Cohen on October 4, 2013. Copy of a resolution adopted by the town of Bethel supporting the enactment of the constitutional amendment authorizing Class 3 gaming in the state of New York. Chairman Samuelson's appointments and reappointments to the Interconnects Long-Term Care Council. Records destruction authorization notifications dated September 23rd from DFS, East Medicaid Public Assistant, Food Stamp Departments, DFS Accounting dated September 25th, and County Clerk dated October 8th. And that's it.
Thank you. At this point, we would like to open the floor to public comment. We have Howard Goldsmith. Did you? No?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Comment on the issue that's above? No.
Coming out.
No.
I'm going to take.
Public comment. time.
Public comment is yours. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I thought it was on that issue.
No. It's
Okay.
your issue.
My name's Howard Goldsmith. I asked Mr. Rogers to come here today. I believe that's him right there. So I can publicly apologize to him and his family for my
rude behavior that I interrupted your speech on Francis Curry Day. For whatever reasons I had at that moment, I wanted to know that I realized I was wrong and very remorseful for that moment. I could only hope that he can forgive me in due time. And with that, my public statement. Thank you for the time. Mr. Rogers. I know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else that has anything they would like to speak about today? Okay. We'll move on to resolutions. Number 1.
Resolution introduced by Management and Budget Committee to schedule dates for public hearings on the county tentative budget for fiscal year 2014.
Motion? Alan, second. Kitty, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
8-0.
2.
Resolution introduced by Management and Budget Committee to modify the 2013 county budget.
Second. G. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
3.
Resolution introduced by Management and Budget Committee to create and fund the building maintenance. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Since this was discussed in Management and Budget Committee, can we move 3 and 4 to block, please?
A motion to move 3 and 4 in block. Alan, second. Kitty. Any discussion on those?
I'm just supportive of setting up these funds. They're kind of our rainy day funds for building maintenance and construction. And it's fortunate that we're in a position to put some dollars back into those funds.
I agree. Anybody else? Kitty?
I just wanted to state that for the record, I think it's very vital that we as the legislative body for maintaining the cost constraints that we have, and that going forward that we recognizing that property tax is our only real way of paying for anything, and yet we're able to, because of our fiscal constraint, our fiscal conservativeness, to put money aside into these things that will help save money in the future that we wouldn't have to be going at a higher rate. So I'm proud that this is coming about.
I agree. I made the statement at management budget, but I think it feels really good to be able to be taking a proactive stance with finances for change and making plans for good work in the county in the future. Cora, did you have something?
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate what I said in the committee meeting, which was that, this is a good problem to have. I was concerned, though, that the money was being put into 2 funds without having an itemized list of how those funds, how they were chosen, splitting 4 million here and 2 million there. And the answer to my question was, well, it's in the capital budget. And I really would prefer to have a bit more specificity than that. And so I'm requesting, and I'm putting it on the public record, that how would that extra 4 million and that 2 million be prioritized? We know we have a lot of bridges and a lot of roads and obviously capital improvements in this building, but I would prefer to see it on a spreadsheet itemized with what those estimated costs are, because I just think that that's better than saying, go look in the capital budget.
Okay. I think in answer to the question, though, that it is in the capital budget in DPW prioritized, and each one of the items as they come forward individually would then be brought before the legislature.
Yeah, I'm not happy with
And
that.
one other thing, Scott, is Jonathan Brewer set up the budget meetings this morning for October 31st, and Ed is going to come and present his budget and his capital budget plan. And it'll all be there in writing and in a priority list, so you will get the opportunity to see it.
I agree. That's the kind of answer I want. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, it's done.
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah, I also support this, capital improvements that need to be done in an assigned fund. I think it's a good thing, and I'm also glad that we're in a position to be able to do this, so I'm in support as well.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to move 5 through 11 as one.
Second.
Okay, second, Kathy. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. 12.
Resolution introduced by Health and Family Services Committee to authorize the county manager to sign the Office for the Aging Annual Implementation Plan.
Motion? Kathy, second. Alan, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Number 13.
Resolution introduced by the Public Works Committee to authorize the award of engineering services for the design of airport drainage improvements for Sullivan County International Airport.
Motion.
Second, Alan. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Okay, number 14.
Resolution introduced by Public Works Committee to authorize the execution of a contract modification with Holy Paving Corporation.
Move it.
I'll second it.
Second, Alan. Discussion?
No, I just might add, there's no additional cost to the county, so, I'm in support.
All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. 15.
Resolution introduced by Public Works Committee to rescind a drainage easement along County Road 14.
Motion. Gene, second, Alan. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Number 16.
Resolution introduced by Public Works Committee to authorize funding in the first instance of the federal aid and state Marshallese program and eligible cost of a federal aid transportation project.
Move it.
Motion.
Okay.
Either
Kathy,
one, however.
G, okay. Discussion?
Marcus-Shelley, just so you know.
That's your discussion? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Number 17.
Resolution introduced by Public Works Committee authorizing the payment rate for center line miles for the contract year July 1st, 2013 to June 30th, 2014.
Motion, Alan, second, Gene. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Number 18.
Resolution introduced by Public Safety Committee to amend Resolution 151 of '02 and 342 of '01 regarding compensation for court-appointed language interpreter services.
Motion, Alan, second, Kitty. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Number 19.
Resolution introduced by the Public Safety Committee. Mr. Chairman, can we move 19, 20?
No.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Okay, number 19.
Resolution introduced by the Public Safety Committee calling on Governor Cuomo and the state legislature to amend Chapter 1 of the laws of 2013, the New York Safe Act.
Okay, motion. Cora, second. Cindy? Discussion?
Yes. I think it's important to, I recognize that amending the act might be the only route to go, but I would prefer to write a letter to repeal the act.
Okay.
That is what that's the resolution that we passed, was for repeal. And that's why I'm voting no on this.
Okay, so, all in favor?
Wait, I just want to make one more comment, that this was actually the wording of the resolution as it came through the NISAC, conference. And so, if we have different wording than what's at the NISAC conference, basically it's to show solidarity with that. But that doesn't mean that you still can't have the other resolution. No, you're shaking your head, no, you can't.
I understand your point, to show some solidarity with NISAC, but I refuse to vote yes when it says amend. I asked
I
for
understand.
repeal, that's all I want. I
But-
can't in good conscience do this.
But what, the question that you were shaking your head no to.
No, I'm saying yes, I.
No, next to you.
Oh.
He was going, no. One doesn't negate the other, right?
I understand Gene's point is that this resolution accepts the SAFE Act as being a given and makes a financial, if nothing else, amendment to it. It doesn't address the issues that your board voted on originally in terms of repealing the SAFE Act.
That's why I'm asking if it's negate the first resolution or not.
It-
They can be concurrent or not. That's my question.
They don't exist symbiotically.
You can't have both.
So we already voted on a repeal, this is an amendment
This is to
to.
amend the SAFE Act.
If,
Which is the reason why I feel that we should not be doing this, we should be.
Okay, so we can
sticking
call the
with
vote. So
repeal.
all in
Wait,
favor?
okay, wait, but this wasn't discussed as such in the committee, right?
I tried to discuss it like that in the committee, that's why I voted no in committee as well.
Okay.
If I am to uphold the oath of office I took when I was sworn in, I have to ask for the repeal because it wasn't
Okay.
done properly constitutionally.
Okay, so now I'm clear on something I wasn't clear
well.
about.
I stand by
Our original, yes. Okay, so we're gonna vote this.
So all in favor
hold on a
of
second.
this resolution
This was what
to
from
amend
NISAC?
the SAFE Act,
That you wanted
all
to-
in favor?
Cora?
Ira?
What's your question, Kathy?
This
One.
was what forth from, I'm sorry.
Are we,
We're
it's a
in the
We're
vote.
still in discussion,
Yeah.
and you moved it to a vote,
Yeah,
she
because
was
I
still.
tried to-
Oh, you're still discussing?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, you jumped in
Cora,
the
this
middle
was
of
the
it.
resolution you, what from the NISAC convention?
I brought it back from the NISAC convention. When it was discussed at the NISAC convention, the feeling was repeal isn't gonna happen in this administration.
I had hesitations about this through
Albany.
committee.
This is
Yeah,
the
it's
next
been-
best thing. But what I didn't understand when we were discussing it in there was that these two resolutions would clash. This one would override the previous one, so I'm gonna stick with the previous one. I wasn't clear on that until just now.
So
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yes. I
Okay,
think it
more
should be
discussion.
repealed too, but sometimes you have to take a step, half a step at least is better than nothing.
Half a step in the wrong direction is still in the wrong direction. It's unconstitutional. It was passed improperly.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
One.
Opposed?
7. Fails.
Number 20.
Oh, you have to wait. Resolution introduced by the Public Safety Committee recognizing the importance of marine patrols in county law enforcement and calling for amendments to the navigation law to support county marine patrol sustainability.
Motion? Cora, second. Jean? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
21.
Resolution introduced by the Public Safety Committee calling on Governor Cuomo and the state legislature to reform the statewide interoperable communications grants program and more equitability and efficiently allocate 911 surcharge funds to counties.
Motion?
Motion.
Jean, second. Cora? Discussion?
Yes. Thank you. So, my understanding of this particular resolution calls attention to the fact that on everybody's cell phone, there's a $1.20 charge, which is supposed to be earmarked, if that's the correct word, or designated to 911 interoperability functions. Now, or equipment, so on and so forth. Of that, what's collected in Albany is $200 million. What came back to Sullivan County last year was $38,000. That's an automatic formulaic allocation. The rest was $75 million, which was put into a pot where all counties had to compete. So the question remains, when you subtract 75 from 200 million, where is the rest of that 125 million going? If we continually put money in, how come we're not getting it back? And I think that this is kind of a call to action for people who are, if the media can, spread the word in the public, in the newspapers, and on the radio or wherever, because each year there's a stronger force of counties saying this has to change, and I think we just have to keep chipping away, keep chipping away, keep chipping away, because this is money that should be coming back to the counties.
Further, I would like to say, I totally agree with Cora, and if we look at what's going on in landlines and how they're going to be almost non-existent in the future, these monies we really need to pay attention to, and I think that the governor needs to recognize that he has to, by virtue of accepting the money, he needs to give it back, and not just in a loan slant competitive grant format. It needs to be in a formula of dollar for dollar somehow. Whether that's 5 cents on a dollar or 25 cents on a dollar, this competition for grants and or like with ag, it was USDA, it was loans. Very few counties in the state, rural counties in the state, can afford those systems. We need to get our counties, rural counties, the monies that they need to allow for this funding.
I also agree with Cora and Kitty. This resolution is really a no-brainer because the goal is to increase the total amount of funding coming back to Sullivan County through that surcharge. So I'm totally in support.
Any further discussion or comment? All in favor? Opposed?
That's it.
Thank you.
Resolution introduced by Public Safety Committee calling on the governor and the state legislature to enact legislation that will bring mandate relief to county jails.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion.
We know we need it. We need mandate.
No, we need it
This
cheap.
is also a no-brainer.
Free would
Further
be better.
discussion or comment?
No, we're good.
All in favor? Opposed?
That's it.
Number 23.
Resolution introduced by the Public Safety Committee to approve the 2014 stock DWI plan. And authorize the county manager to sign any and all agreements necessary for the plan.
Motion.
Gene, second.
I'll second it.
Alan. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed?
Resolution introduced by Public Safety Committee to accept fiscal year 2012 local emergency management performance grant, and the number 25 is for 2013. We move them in a block, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to move 24 and 25 as a block. We have Alan and Kitty. Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, I just had a question about the resolution. It says that Sullivan County is required to provide a local match equal to the funding award amount of $33,828 for a total project cost of $66,656. That local match,
Yep, that's Dick Martinkovic's salary. So 38 comes from the state and 30 comes with whatever the change is
It's 50/50.
from, the county. So basically half of the salary is paid for by the state. That's the 38,000 that comes back from the 200 million that goes up to all.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? 26.
Resolution introduced by Government Services Committee to authorize award and execution of contract with Pitney Bowes.
Motion?
Motion.
Kitty, second. Gene. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move 27 through 31 as a block. These are correction of errors and conveyances that were discussed extensively in
I'll
committee.
second.
Great minds
Alan,
think alike.
Kathy.
Great minds think alike.
Discussion. Comment. All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Okay. We'll move on to your full board addendum from October 17, 2013, for all the resolutions that were passed in executive earlier. Number 1.
Resolution introduced by Executive Committee establishing a standard workday for elected officials.
Motion?
Motion.
Gene, second. Alan? Discussion? All in favor?
Wait, I'm gonna repeat what I said in committee. I
Comment.
knew there was a standard work day.
I told you, 25 hours.
All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Number 2.
To authorize award and execution of contract with Rottenberg Healthcare Consulting.
Motion?
Motion.
Gene, second. Alan? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Number 3.
Resolution to authorize a public hearing for the transfer of county property pursuant to not-for-profit corporation law. This is the Cornell Cooperative
Move it.
Building.
second it.
Kathy, second. Alan, any discussion?
Scheduled for November 7th at 9:30 a.m. That's
I
Mr.
just-
Sandor in the back.
I just wanted to mention that the reason why the date was.
Discussion.
The reason for the date is because it had to have 10 days notification, and that's why it was put back from the October 31st.
Correct. Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
8-0.
4.
Resolution introduced by executive committee to reclassify position in the treasurer's office.
Motion, Kathy, second, Cora. Discussion, all in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Number 5.
Resolution introduced by executive committee to approve a Sullivan County revolving loan.
Motion, Jean, second, Kitty. Discussion, all in favor?
Makes a great sauce.
8-0.
Yeah, it's
Number
fantastic.
6.
Resolution introduced by executive committee ratifying the memorandum of agreement between the county of Sullivan and the New York State Nurses Association.
Motion.
Okay, Jean, Kathy. Discussion,
I just have a comment.
Comment?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who was involved, because so far, knock on wood,
Yeah.
we've had a very smooth,
Negotiation.
thank you for that.
Well,
And so I just want to recognize the people who worked so hard to have a smooth sailing for us. We really appreciate it.
one of them's here. Thank you, Linda.
And all the people behind the scenes. And Josh.
Well, that's a given.
any further comment?
I just need to recuse myself from this vote
Okay,
because of my
Yeah.
relationship with NICE.
okay, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? You can't
7-0.
recuse and then raise your hand.
It's an automatic reflex.
Actually, usually lightning comes through the ceiling.
7-0.
Number 7.
No, it's,
7-0.
okay, sorry.
Resolution introduced by executive committee to authorize a public hearing for the transfer of county property pursuant to a not-for-profit corporation. And this is Apollo Plaza parcels scheduled for a public hearing on Thursday, November 7th at 9:35 a.m.
Motion, Alan, second, Cora. Discussion,
I just want to make sure that it's known to everybody that in fact this is just authorizing setting a public hearing. It's not necessarily voting to transfer at this point in time.
this is to set a public hearing. Any further comment, question? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Thank you. Number 8.
Resolution introduced by executive committee to extend the full-time temporary account clerk/database position in the early care program at Public Health Services.
Move it.
Kathy, second.
Second.
Jean. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
8-0.
Okay, at this time I would like to call on my colleagues to see if there's anything that anybody has to say, share, comment, discuss, or,
So on October 30th, Wednesday, 6 p.m. here in this room, legislative hearing room, there's going to be the third Stepping Up to Safety event, so to speak. So the first hour from 6 to 7 is for community groups that are new. And then the second hour, 7 to 8, is for the community groups that have formed in the last 2 meetings. So everybody's here all together, and then we break out into small groups. And I just want to reiterate that those groups that have had neighborhood watches, which is Loomis Road, Foxcroft Village, and in Monticello, during the time that they've been set up, they've had their burglary rate go down. So I think it's not, 100% that there's no burglaries, but I think that every time that we've had these meetings, the people share what they've learned with the new people, and also each of the law enforcement officials that have come have been very generous with their time, and they're really true community policing. So I just want to make sure that people have the updated information that it's happening here on Wednesday, October 30th. Thank you.
would like to take this opportunity to remind everybody that on November 5th, coming up in 2 weeks, there's going to be an election. And in that election, on the back of your ballot, there are going to be 6 referendums. One of those referendums is in regard to changing the state constitution to allow for Class 3 gaming in New York State. I prepared a statement that I would like to read and also remind everybody that we need to get out and vote. You need to flip the ballot over. You need to pay attention to all of the referendums, but in particular, referendum 1 regarding gaming is on that ballot. The statement is, on November 5th, the people of Sullivan County and the entire state face a monumental decision. Do we vote to amend the New York State Constitution to allow Class 3 gaming in New York State? The implications are enormous. What is at stake are billions of tourism dollars that pass over our borders into New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Canada, and now Massachusetts each year. $1.2 billion in actual gaming proceeds and $1.8 billion in ancillary tourism revenue is spent by New York residents in neighboring communities that are already host to Native American or commercial casinos. This has to end. New York must begin to retain those revenues to enhance the quality of life for the residents of New York State. For decades, Sullivan County was the tourism destination in New York State. Our community and the region were home to some of the top resort hotels recognized worldwide. Thousands upon thousands of tourists came to the mountains to enjoy our fresh air, cool nights, and the best entertainment on the planet. There was not a performer, comedian, or singer that didn't strive to reach the level of success that was playing the mountains. We had it all. I do not have to tell you what has happened since then. We have an opportunity on November 5th that will change all of that, giving us the ability to capture significant new revenues for the state that will be spent to enhance our educational system statewide, reduce our property tax burden, and for Sullivan County and the region bring thousands of quality jobs. The proposed destination resorts will help restore Sullivan County, if successful in obtaining a gaming license, to its former status as the tourism destination in New York State. With our already established tourism amenities, Bethel Woods, Monticello Motor Club, the beautiful Delaware River and the scenic byway, etc., we will again be able to market to the 26 million that reside in the metropolitan New York area and surrounding region. This is by far the most important economic development opportunity this state has proposed in decades. We must vote yes for Prop 1 and give ourselves this extraordinary opportunity. I would also like to take this time to acknowledge some of the people who have been working tirelessly to get this message out, not only in our community, but as far across the state as possible. The members of Citizens for New York Gaming, business owner and developer Randy Resnick, entrepreneur and former Sullivan County legislator Steve Kurlander, president of the Sullivan County Chamber of Commerce Terry Ward, president of the Sullivan County Partnership for Economic Development Mark Baez, and the president and CEO of the Sullivan County Visitors Association Roberta Byron Lockwood. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to our community. Again, this legislature passed a resolution back in June supporting this amendment and this referendum. And again, I would like everybody to remember to get out and vote yes on Prop 1. Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Thank you, everybody.